So, what if our oldest biological enemy could actually become our greatest ally? Today, we're going to rewrite the story of viruses, transforming them from these microscopic villains into, believe it or not, programmable partners in medicine.
For more than a century, this has been the story we've told ourselves, right? I mean, the word virus itself comes from the Latin word for poison. They were seen as just these infectious agents, these microscopic hijackers. They're not even really classified as alive, yet they're responsible for so much disease and destruction.
And you know what? That reputation is, well, it's pretty well earned. Get this, a staggering 20%, 1/5 of all human cancers are thought to be linked back to a viral infection. We're talking about viruses like HPV, Epstein-Barr, hepatitis B. These guys are known carcinogens. They're just masters at derailing our cell safety features to create tumors. So yeah, they are, without a doubt, some pretty formidable biological villains.
But what if we could take everything that makes a virus such a perfect little saboteur and turn it to our advantage? To do that, we first have to really understand the enemy's playbook. So let's break down exactly how these villains operate.
Okay, before we can rewrite their story, we gotta understand the main character. What is a virus really? For all the chaos they cause, their fundamental design is beautifully, or maybe terrifyingly, simple.
I absolutely love this analogy. Genes in a box. That's all a virus is. It's just a set of instructions. It's DNA or RNA packaged up inside a protective protein shell. It has no metabolism, it can't reproduce by itself. It's completely dependent on a host cell to unlock that box, read the instructions, and then start building more viruses.
So how does this ridiculously simple package cause something as complex as cancer? Well, by being an expert saboteur. Viruses have evolved these incredibly sophisticated ways to take over our cellular machinery, and in some cases, to disable the very systems that are designed to prevent cancer.
Okay, now what's really fascinating here is just how precise this attack is. Let's take a look at human papillomavirus, HPV. It gets inside a cell and it just unleashes two key proteins. E6 acts like a guided missile for P53, which is one of our most important tumor suppressors, and E7, it goes after another one, called RB. Just think of P53 and RB as the emergency brakes on your car. What HPV does is it systematically cuts the brake lines, which lets the cell just grow and divide completely out of control. It is a masterful, molecular-level hijack.
All right, so here comes the plot twist. If a virus is so incredibly good at finding and messing with specific cells, what if we could change its target? This is where the story shifts, where the pathogen starts to become the protagonist.
And this comparison just illustrates the turning point perfectly. We can take an oncogenic virus, that's one that causes cancer, and we can re-engineer it into an oncolytic virus, which is one that hunts cancer. We're literally turning the virus's own destructive power against the very disease it can create. It's like turning a poacher into a gamekeeper.
Now, this isn't just flipping a switch. This is a feat of some truly incredible genetic engineering, turning this blunt instrument of disease into a precision-guided weapon. Let's take a look at how scientists actually build a better assassin.
So, this isn't just one trick, it's a multi-layered security system that we build right into the virus. First, genetic gating works like a keycard system. The virus is programmed to only activate, to start replicating, when it detects proteins found exclusively inside a cancer cell. Then there's surface recognition. We actually modify its outer shell so it can only latch onto tumor cells, completely ignoring the healthy ones. Third, we strip away its natural camouflage, so our immune system can actually see it. And finally, my favorite part, we arm the payload. We insert genes that make the dying cancer cell send out a massive alarm, calling in our own immune cells to join the attack.
The results you see in clinical trials can be just breathtaking. These are the actual words of a doctor describing what happened when an oncolytic virus, a modified herpes virus in this case, was injected directly into a patient's head and neck tumor. It wasn't just shrinking, it was, quote, melting away.
And the long-term results? They're just as stunning. In that very same trial for head and neck cancer, an incredible 70% of patients were still completely cancer-free 5 years later. I mean, that's not just a treatment. For many of those people, that's a cure.
But killing cancer? That's really just the beginning. This technology is opening the door to an even more profound idea, reimagining the infected cell, not as a casualty, but as a microscopic factory.
So welcome to the concept of the virocell. See, when a virus takes over, It turns the cell into this totally dedicated factory. It's the ultimate act of synthetic biology. The virus provides the blueprint, and the cell, it provides all the energy and raw materials to build some incredible things with atomic precision.
And this is where things get truly futuristic. What if we could change the blueprint? Instead of programming a virus cell to just churn out more viruses, we could give it brand new instructions. Imagine a virus cell inside a tumor producing its own therapeutic drugs right there on site, or maybe building nanoscaffolds for tissue repair, or even creating smart biomaterials. We are on the verge of enlisting these hijacked cells to be our own microscopic manufacturing plants.
This whole journey, from pathogen to programmable machine, it forces us to ask a much deeper question about our relationship with viruses, one that might be written into our own evolutionary history.
This brings us to a really mind-bending idea from evolutionary biology. Some scientists are proposing that the very nucleus of our cells, the command center of our entire biology, might have actually evolved from an ancient virus that just decided to take up permanent residence. This suggests that our ancient dance with viruses isn't just about conflict, it could be about creation itself, woven into the very fabric of who we are.
And that leaves us with a pretty profound question to think about. By finally learning their molecular language, we're turning saboteurs into surgeons and hijacked cells into tiny factories. So are viruses our oldest enemy? Or are they about to become our next great collaborator, a powerful, programmable force of nature just waiting for us to harness it? Thanks for joining this explainer.